Hello guys, this is Calvin. Welcome back to a brand new video. Now this video, I kind of wanted to get into something a bit more like personal about my life. This is weird because I made like a lot of like videos over the summer, kind of just like going over experiences in my life and stuff, and some of those videos actually resonated pretty well with you guys. I kind of stopped making them for a bit because I really want to focus on my music and stuff. But this video especially, I think I started recording here with the objective to go a bit more personal. I guess just into a bit of reflection over like what the past year has kind of been for me and just some realizations I've had recently. Things I want to change going into future. And just kind of like where my mind is right now with just everything going on. Because essentially, I'm in a point in my life right now where I'm very blessed. I'm very proud to be where I'm at. I'm very blessed to have the people that I have in my life. I'm grateful I have such an amazing support system. People who care about me. I'm grateful I have, just a roof over my head. I'm grateful for the fact that I that I'm still breathing, that I'm still here. That I've made it through kind of everything I have just in life up until this point. And you should be too. No matter where you are in your life, if you're watching this, you should be proud of that. Because I know things happen sometimes. If you're like myself, you kind of question like, oh, am I doing good right now? Am I, and like trust me, if you're doing your best and you are truly like putting 100 into everything you can be doing, then it's all you can do. And you should be proud of that. And for me, when I look at kind of like the past year, it's like I'm proud in the sense that I was able to like move through, and I'll explain like what I mean here, like as when it comes to what exactly I am or have been moving through. Because I'm at a point right now where it's like I feel like truly myself, like the Calvin that's always been there, is the me, that's talking to you right now, kind of its most pure form. Through a lot of this year, end of last year, I feel like I don't know if you have watched this YouTube channel, or even if you've kept up with my music, or both, or anything, or if you're just like new watching this, welcome. But I feel like honestly, I feel like a lot of this year was me still under the weight of a lot of things I was kind of lifting off my chest. Because so essentially, if I look back in my life, so there's a really dark point in my life, probably from end of 2022 until it really kind of ended end of 2023, but I just didn't fully recover from everything. I feel like until very recently, to the point where it's like I truly do feel like 100% like myself now, even with the trauma of those things. It's like I still, the Calvin that's talked to you right now. It's like it feels very purely me in a sense. Because throughout the duration of 2024, 2023, mainly 2024, because if you've kept up with my music, I've released a lot of music in 2024. And it's kind of just honestly the best way I can describe it. Because right now I feel like I'm back to a point of like I'm making music and to the point where it feels fun and like a hobby. Back to the way it kind of used to be when I was younger. I've been producing music, making music since I was like 13, 14. Kind of took it more seriously when I was 15. And since there, that's kind of like where the journey started and stuff. But I don't know. I've never. So if you're familiar with my music, you know that like throughout 2024, I've released a lot of music that some lyrics are just very crass, if you will. Some of the sounds are just very heavy and very dark. And very just kind of just like fuck it, get everything off my chest. But the thing is that me like authentically as a person, I'm not a naturally angry person. I'm not a naturally very someone who honestly, like if you listen to the love, like the lyrics in my songs that I put out, like under my Getaway Stranger project, at least like over like 2024 and stuff, a lot of it is just very just fucking it's almost like if you just write just free thought, just the most fucking insane shit that you get in your mind like into a journal, except you kind of just put that journal out there into the public because fuck it. And to me that was kind of my way of attempting to heal from it, right? And I think I did at the end of the day, because my catharsis was being able to get those just that insanely dark weight off my chest. But it's a difficult thing because I get scared people will hear that and think, oh, that's directed towards them, or that's just directed to this general sea of people who are listening to the music. Because, like I said, some of the lyrics are just very crass and very aggressive, and very, at least like throughout 2024, just the vibe is very dark and very just, um, I mean, it is what it is. But that all those lyrics came from a place of being directed at a very shitty situation that happened to me in 2023 that I've glazed over, I feel like a ton on this channel. That I feel like I've glazed over a ton if you know me, and I kind of maybe I've talked to you a little bit about it. But I don't think I've ever really told like the full story. I have to like some of my very, very close friends. And I feel like I'm at a point now where it's kind of been a long enough time where I can, and I guess the hope that I hope to kind of get out of this is that maybe someone will connect if they're in a similar dark spot, or if they're in they just don't know what to do. And I hope that I can be as help as much as I possibly can. Because I'm in a place where I'm finally out of it, but it took a very long time to get there. And I look back and I really feel bad for my younger self in a sense, because at me, that Calvin, like 18-year-old, 19-year-old Calvin, like didn't deserve any of that. But it happened to me, so I put that dark weight back out there in 2024 as my way of freeing myself. But in turn, I feel like maybe it misrepresents me in some sense. So I'm gonna go back to what happened all in 2024. So essentially I kicked, or 2023, my bad. So essentially I kicked off 2023. I had this old music project called Evening Hallucinations in 2022. I just didn't release great music under it. I didn't really try the way I've always wanted to. Essentially, I remember I paid like a bunch for like this like promotion thing, and my music it already wasn't like great, but also the genre it was compared to the genre of the channel it got posted to, because I paid someone like on Fiverr to like put it on like the certain channel, because I was just desperate for like any eyes to like see my work and all that, right? So I posted I had it posted this channel. It was like some channel that was like just made like that was like, that used to be, I think, like where a lot of Tupac's like music got posted stuff, and my music did not sound like Tupac, of course. I mean, look at me, I'm not gonna sound like Tupac, right? But it just wasn't that type of music, right? So, but it got posted to that channel, and I didn't, I knew it was gonna like get some views and stuff. I didn't know how many it was gonna get, and I didn't even think about comments and stuff, right? And I was only 18 at this time, keep in mind. So I posted. And then within a couple weeks, I got curious and I decided to check and see how the video was doing on the YouTube channel they got like reposted on, right? And it like shell shocked me in all the wrong ways. It had already gone like nearly like 50,000 views, like, and counting. It was going up. I eventually requested to have it taken down or privated, because I was like, I can't do this. Like, this is too much on me. Because I checked the comments and it was like, let me tell you, especially like some hip hop channels, like the comments can be so brutal on you. So I was only 18. I was kind of not releasing the best music, like I said, and these comments were ripping on me in like ways that were like, to an 18-year-old, like it puts you down like a lot. And I've been put down in my life before, but this like changed kind of. It may sound dramatic, but it did really change me in a sense. There were comments attacking my appearance. Comments saying that I would never ever do anything good musically my entire life, saying I had no future, just bashing me, all for just like posting a song. It's not like the song was even offensive or anything. I like the shit I posted. Some of the music I make now, yes, some of it can be kind of offensive. At least like the shit I dropped in 2024. But like back then, I wasn't. That wasn't I was still just this innocent 18-year-old just making fun music. I was just having fun with it, and then all that happened. It was hundreds of comments, like hundreds, and I'd never experienced anything like this in my entire life. So, because of this, I kicked off 2023 with not feeling great. This is why I started to kind of like make more dark music and stuff, and get really. It's when I started my music project, Getaway Stranger. Was around the time I abandoned my old project, Even Hallucinations. I started Getaway Stranger, because I was like, I can't do, like, it's embarrassing to me. I need to start something new. So I did, and I just experimented, kind of made some more dark sounds, but throughout the year I was also getting put a lot of pressure on me and stuff, because I decided not to go to college when I turned 18. So that 2022 I graduated high school, and I originally planned on going to college, but I think, like, I don't know, my mind was just scattered everywhere. I was in this like relationship at the time too, and it was just my mind was I just wasn't ready for college. I figured, so I didn't start that year. But it also I worked multiple like different jobs in 2023, but my mind was just kind of scattered everywhere. It was a really weird and dark point in time at that time, like beginning of 2023. So I was just like, I created like these arc sounds, kind of experimented, but progressively throughout the year, just more bad shit would happen. Like I had a family member pass away. Multiple people like I had looked up to, like pass away. An old classmate of mine passed away that year. And at the very end of the year, my one of my cats passed away. So it ended up being a very dark year for that. But at the same time, I was in this relationship with this person who their family, I don't know why, just out of nowhere, just started putting a bunch of pressure on me, saying like really mean things about me behind my back, kind of similar to what like the YouTube comments were, but like it was kind of like in real life too. So like that was happening as well. Just like like for no reason, just like saying Calvin's like got no life. He's a low life. He's not doing anything. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's trying to pursue this music thing that's so out of left field that that's never anything is going to happen with it. And we'll get to what kind of happened with that later on. But at the same time too, this person's that I was dating, like their friends also were talking a lot of shit on me for like no reason. I didn't do anything to them. I didn't do anything to anybody. But they were just like really mean, just saying really mean things behind my back. Some of those things I don't know really specifics, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good. To the point where this kind of built up this giant seed of resent and anger towards the world around me because I was getting hated. I was getting things said about me for doing like nothing wrong. I wasn't harming anybody. I wasn't saying mean things about anybody. I was just like living, trying to figure out my life. I was very young. Like I turned 19 at the end of 2022, I think. Yeah, I turned 19. I was just very, still figuring a lot of stuff out. And all this stuff was happening to the point where later in the year, it was like around fall, I confronted who's now my ex, like her family about everything that I was like, hey, like I just kind of exploded, honestly, to her dad. I was like, because it was mainly her dad who's just doing a lot like behind my back, like saying a lot of, and it's different when she's like, oh, like some people, but it was like everything like kind of building up. It was like those comments, and then especially her dad, like hearing like all this crazy narrative about me. And her dad also was not a great person at all. I don't like to label people as like good or bad people, but he wasn't a great person. And if essentially I kind of, and he also was putting my ex in this like terrible situation too. Just putting a lot of like unnecessary pressure on her. Kind of just I was just so upset. So me and him got into this like giant fight. And long story short, that fight was kind of like the spark that ended me and this person's relationship. So me standing up for myself and me standing, at least my intentions of staying up for myself and staying up for this person that I loved, resulted in that relationship ending. And I also didn't have many friends around this time. I kind of did, but I wasn't really close with any of them. So this relationship ended. And the emotions I felt I can't put into words. It was lost, upset, really angry, very confused because it was like all this stuff was happening to me for me doing nothing. And then as a result, it's like I lose this relationship from it, for trying to stand up for myself. And granted, I was very explosive. It was a very explosive fight, like with that person's dad, and at the end of the day, I think it happened for a reason. But that at the time, I was so angry. I had so much resent and anger inside of me, and sadness, and all this weight because of the unfairness I felt that the world was giving me. All this stuff was happening to me when I did nothing wrong. So my mentality shifted into, well, if people are going to hate me for doing nothing wrong, then fuck it. I'm going to give everyone a reason to hate me. I'm just going to, if I release music, I'm going to be as brutally honest as I want. And I'm going to say as much wild and crazy shit as I want because it doesn't matter. Because you're going to hate me if I'm nice. You're going to hate me if I'm mean. you're gonna hate me for me no matter what I do. So that kind of went to the music, and it became this very fuck it mentality, if you will. So if you listen to like pretty much like Getaway Stranger, pretty much everything I released in 2024, like some of the lyrics in Death Note, like Strangers, like down to like the more recent stuff. Like I'll get into like what my plan is moving forward with music and stuff, but at least if you look at like a lot of it in 2024, it's very brutally honest, very just like fuck it and fuck you and all these things. But the reason behind that, some people may look at those lyrics and be like, what the fuck? What the fuck is it? Like, what is this? This is just fucking bad shit. But those lyrics are directed kind of toward that scenario in a way. They're directed to those specific people, to people I felt were hurting me so bad. But the thing is, I never really thought about how anyone else perceived it. I had this automatic assumption that everyone in the world is going to hate me for pretty much no reason. So when people did show concern, or people are like um it was a shock to me, and it made me realize like, and it said like made me think about how other people are perceiving of what I'm doing, because my intentions are always like, I'm always thinking about, oh, if these people who hurt me saw what I was doing. And so but people who don't, 99.99999% of this world doesn't even know about that situation. So when they come across my music, they come across something I say, they're gonna be like, what the fuck? Like this dude's like bad shit. But it's not that. It's the fact that all that anger, all that hate is directed towards that situation. And it still was for the longest time, because 2024, I took a long time to heal from everything that I went through in 2023, which is probably, I feel like, will forever be the worst year of my entire life. It changed me as a person. I would have liked to say that it didn't, that I managed to stay true to myself. But I kind of feel like I became, honestly, kind of throughout a lot of this year, I became that fire and that hate that made me hurt so much. But I was doing that intentionally because I wanted people to hurt, because I wanted people to know how I felt. Because I felt I was unfairly treated. But now I'm good news. I'm at a point in time now where it's like, I feel like that old Calvin before any of that shit happened is back, and now I'm kind of like looking back, like not in a sense of like what have I done, because it's like I'm proud of the fact that I was able to be so expressive and get everything off my chest and create, like, a lot of the instrumentals are cool and stuff, and vocally I'm proud I was able to push myself, and I like the sound of my voice now, which is great. But like so much heat and just like just like the raw ventingness. I know it came from a place of like that hate and that anger, and now I kind of fear that someone sees that and they think that that's genuinely me, when that's not genuinely me. That's me being so fired up about these unfair things that were done to me in this whole situation. And I was so desperate to be heard, because like when I went through that breakup at the end of 2023, after all, everything hit the fan essentially, when I was trying to like stick up for myself, and I just like I felt like terrible, because it was like after that I didn't have many friends. So, and sometimes I want like people, I would be very vocal about like, hey, I'm like, could you down to hang out? Like, because people, I think like I told people like what had happened, like everything I was going through. So I'd be like, hey, you want to hang out? Like I could use a friend to talk to, use this, and no one really wanted to like hang out with me or do anything, which made it even worse, because then there were just multiple like nights alone where I would just be literally, no exaggeration, I'd be just curled up in a ball crying, just multiple nights for like hours, or until I fell asleep, and this would just happen over and over and over again, until I just decided I was like, I have nothing, so I'll just create music and create YouTube videos and do whatever, because I don't really have much. Until I did eventually, find more people who cared, and I eventually found that connection again. But that definitely took a while. Wasn't easy to get to, and I hope it's never that difficult again. I know life isn't easy, but I to this day I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. But it's just, I guess like my goal is to just kind of explain, like, I feel like I had such this heat in my stomach for a lot of this year, just as a way, like I was just throughout the entirety of this year trying to lift so much weight off of everything that happened to me throughout the previous kind of a little over a year, right? But I'm at a point now where it's like that old Calvin is kind of back, you know? It's kind of looking back at it and be like, who is this person? Because it was me mirroring the hatred that I had received and that was put onto me. So I felt the world deserved to know. I wanted everyone else to feel what I was feeling because I had no one and I was feeling really alone. But now I'm at a point where it's like, yeah, like I said, like the old me is back and it's kind of looking back. Like I don't. It's kind of like I kind of had a mini identity crisis recently because I was like, I don't know who I am. So I'm probably gonna take a. I I feel like every time I say I want to take a break from music, it just never happens because I'm always creating. But there's definitely gonna be a change in the type of stuff that I do want to create. This stuff that I do end up creating because it's gonna be more aligned with who I actually am. So I think therefore, as time goes on, you know, if you keep up with me and the stuff I create, you'll be able to get a better picture of who I really am and not just what I look like under the heat of trying to climb out of this cave essentially of just darkness and just hatred and anger. So that's all I really wanted to say with this. Hopefully this isn't too long. I'm sorry if it is. But my goal was just to kind of to tell my story a little bit, to kind of what's shaped. I feel like a lot of what my content that has been public up until this point, what the kind of driving force behind it was, but also what you kind of can expect moving forward from me, just who I actually am. So I don't know if you've come across any work I've done, if you've come across like just like anything I've done, and you may have thought like, dude, this dude's like seems like really fucking unhinged, or just like really fucking like pissed or this and that. It's like I promise, it's not directed towards like I love people a lot. It's just the fact that I was so angry at a certain small group of people who did me wrong, and everything I did was having those people in mind. And it's like now I feel like I've managed to get myself back, but I'm just kind of figuring out how to move forward right now. But that's that. If anything resonated with you, that's awesome. Again, I'm always open for, like if anyone's ever like going through something or needs help or something, just you can always feel free to reach out to me in however form. I've all kinds of social media, all kinds of you can just leave a comment. Like I don't care, because I care about the well-being of others too. If you're watching this video, but that's all I really want to say. So I guess you can expect kind of I would say like a little change, but honestly like a heavy change in why I end up creating just in general, because it's gonna be more aligned with the stuff I've always just wanted to do. But yeah, that's that. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, night, all that. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See you.